Good morning, everybody. I was just going through all of our dollar words that were submitted yesterday. I had a lot more participation yesterday than we have most of the week. Niall, Elisa, Gabby, Jaylene, Adriana all submitted words yesterday. So I've decided that I want to keep this going for as long as we're reading the book. So at some point today, I will post our leaderboard for our dollar words currently, and I'm also going to post all the dollar words that we have seen so far. Because if somebody has already submitted a word, it's not going to count towards your personal total. But you guys are doing a great job. I love that a lot of you are taking on this challenge. It might seem a little bit more difficult than you first expected, but the longer you keep up with it, you're going to start to see some patterns and really start to create those words. So I'm excited to see what you come up with. Okay, so we're going to start today with Danielle. I ended up talking and playing with Jessica at recess. My troubles with Lexi weren't her fault. I told Jessica about Anna. Jessica thought Anna seemed nice, which was true. Anna was my science partner for the plant unit, and I liked working with her. You stay away from that girl, you hear me? Grandma said when I first mentioned Anna at home. Your grandparents' right, Danielle. That girl comes from a bad family, Mom said. She'll be a bad influence. I wanted to know why, so Grandma filled me in on Anna's family history. I just listened, but I couldn't help thinking about the Anna I knew. She didn't seem bad at all. In fact, I already liked her. I wanted her to be my friend. I figured that as long as I wasn't going over to her house, I could be friends with Anna at school. Before long it was time to head outside. I walked alongside Jessica until I saw Lexi marching towards us. She had a mean scowl on her face. She looked mad, real mad, like a mama cow determined to keep you away from her new calf. I rushed ahead. I didn't want to fight. I felt bad for leaving Jessica behind, but I wanted to avoid Lexi. I hurried inside and hid in the bathroom, but Lexi found me. The bathroom door flew open and she got right in my face. She told me all the mean things Jessica was saying about me. Like, you can even ask Katie or Emily. They'll tell ya. Little Miss California's two-face. Nice to your face and mean behind it. You need to stay away from her. I started crying. Why would Jessica say those mean things? Lexi hugged me for a second, but it didn't make me feel any better. Then she walked toward the sinks. She stood in front of the mirror fixing herself. I sat in one of the stalls wiping my tears. Like, you know what else, Lexi said? Jessica's the one who killed your plant. Like, she knocked it over on purpose. She told me. I've known Lexi since second grade. When she was all nice, when she was all nice, she even came over to my house once that spring, but her feather boas weren't a good match for my farm. So she hasn't ever been back. And then in third grade, she started with her mean games. So I've never been to her house. We're friends in school, when Lexi says so, and that's it. Grandma says something's going on with Lexi that we don't know about, and that it's best not to worry about being her friend. But I did worry. What was the truth? Was there anyone I could be friends with? Dear God, it's Danielle. I'm going to need your help sorting all this girl stuff out. I hope you don't mind. I'd rather not get Grandma involved. She doesn't always understand. Thanks. Amen. November. Luke. It was November. Apparently that meant time for Mr. Terupt to get crazy with his math ideas again. I think he was on a mission to put us through the math gauntlet. Dollar word. We're going to figure out the number of blades of grass in our soccer field, he announced one day. What? You're going to make us count grass? Peter yelled. That's nuts. No way, Nick was hollering. Dollar word. How are we supposed to do that? Tommy said. I raised my hand. Yes, Luke. You mean we're going to estimate the total number, right? I said. Yes and no, Mr. Terupt said. We're actually going to do some calculating to get a reasonable approximation. I was beginning to think that Peter might be right. Yes, it's going to be difficult, but I know we can do it, Mr. Terupt said. Besides, if everything we did were easy, then you wouldn't learn anything. We need to be challenged in order to learn. Mr. Terupt was right about it being a challenge. None of us had any idea how we're going to count blades of grass, but we did. First, we decided we wanted to count 10 centimeter by 10 centimeter squares, which was my suggestion after Mr. Terupt talked to us about sampling and how our government gets population numbers. Then we measured the squares on large pieces of cardboard and cut them out. So we were left with a piece of cardboard that was 10 centimeters square missing in the middle. That was Mr. Turup's suggestion. Now it would be easy to toss our piece of cardboard around the field and collect random 10-centimeter samplings. So far, so good. Time to head outside. We marched downstairs and out the front doors by the office. Then we stampeded down the sidewalk until the end of the building. The soccer field awaited us on the side of our school. Peter. She was bent over counting blades of grass. It was the perfect opportunity. Mr. T was busy helping someone else, so he wasn't going to see me in action. I gripped the cardboard with my best hold, dipped my knees a little, and let the frisbee fly. It zinged through the air on its mission like a missile from a fighter jet. Bullseye. Ow! Lexi shrieked. My tushy! I almost died of laughter. I dropped to my knees. I laughed so hard I couldn't stop. I couldn't catch my breath either. Lots of other kids were laughing too. Lexi yelled something about her tushy and me being a jerk. Everyone that missed out on the fun kept asking, "What happened? What happened?" Everyone except Mr. T. He came right over to make sure Lexi wasn't injured. Lexi was holding her tushy and hopping up and down, saying "ow" over and over. She's a total drama queen. Usually a teacher checks the spot that hurts, but I don't think Mr. T was real big on that this time. "Peter, that's not funny," Mr. T said to me. "Someone could have been injured. You're lucky you didn't hit anyone in the eye. Go sit down." I sat down. It was no big deal. If you'd been there, you'd agree. It was super funny. Luke. We spread out all over the place, tossing our cardboard squares and counting the blades of grass. Peter, however, was flinging his square like a frisbee, even though Mr. Terupt had warned us that if it wasn't a toy and to be careful throwing it. Maybe if things had turned out differently that day, they would have turned out differently in the end, too. I think what happened on the soccer field just set us up for disaster later on. So Peter was being his typical sneaky self, flinging his square and counting here and there. But as soon as he spotted Alexa bent over her square, he wound up and sailed a beauty in her direction. It was a perfect delivery, $word, that tattooed, $word, her fanny. "Ow!" she screeched. "Like, what the heck?" "What happened?" Mr. Turp instantly $word, twisted around. "Like, someone just hit me right in my tushy with their square," Alexa cried. "The old buttocks again, huh?" Mr. Turrup said. "You okay?" "Yes," Alexa said. Mr. Turrup turned and looked out at us. We were laughing our heads off, and I swear I saw him smile as he shook his head at the whole scene. "Peter, come over here, please," he said. "Why me?" Peter complained. "Because we all know how much you like the buttocks area, don't we?" Classic Mr. Turrup. Instead of blowing up, he was funny about it, but in a serious way. He sat Peter out for the rest of the activity and had a talk with him. Peter didn't pretend to be innocent, but like I said, I think this set us up for later. The whole thing seemed funny. No one got hurt. Peter sat out. That was it. Once we finished tossing and counting, we headed inside, where we learned how to average all our data. Then we took our average number and used it to predict the soccer field total by figuring out how many of our squares could fit inside the field. The number of blades of grass in our soccer field equals 77,537,412. This isn't an exact answer, of course, but it's an accurate estimate based on all of our calculations. Phew. I learned so much doing that project. It wasn't the stupid easy stuff I was used to getting from my teachers, that's for sure. We were math wizards, $word. Somebody came up with the word wizards a couple days ago, I thought. Oh, Adriana had the word wizards yesterday. Nice. Okay, we're going to stop there for today. I'm looking forward to continuing our dollar words as we continue to read because of Mr. Terupt. I think this really is such a great book, and I'm looking forward to see how it turns out as we move forward in it. I hope you're all ready to play Kahoot today. I can't wait to see you all there. I will see you in a bit. Bye.